Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm Spiritual Coach Lisa Hobb. It is Sunday, March 10th, 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're well. I hope you had a week of many blessings. And now we're ready to start a new week. For those of you who are new, please be sure to check out my website at lisahobb.com. It is all about my upcoming events, all about the work I do, and all about me. And if you are on Facebook, please see my business page at Lisa M. Hobb, Spiritual Coach and Medium, and also on Instagram under Spiritual Coach Lisa Hobb, where I do try to post inspirational messages Monday through Friday. And I always say this, but it is very true. Hopefully on Instagram there'll be some little videos and things at some point, because I do have the intention of being more of a presence on social media, and because it benefits all of you, and that's very important to me. That's why I'm on this earth, is to be a spiritual teacher. So any way I can teach is important. And my issue is I'm one person. I'm a one-person operation, and so time is something I'm still working with. If I had just a few more days a week, I'm being added like 10 days a week instead of 7, then there would be a lot more material that you would see. But I am working with that in a positive way. So thank you all for understanding and for supporting the work that I do, for your comments, for just being, just so much for me to be grateful for in this life. I appreciate you. I just, more than I could ever express. And with that said, if you're listening to this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. I would appreciate it so much. I'm getting very excited because, as some of you know, on 2023, I wasn't much of a walker. And so now I'm at a place where I can start to travel. And I'm excited because I also want to do ghost stories, real life ghost stories. I've been inspired by a peer of mine, not really a peer in a sense of my work, but a peer in the love of the paranormal. And she's just very calmly, relaxing, in a wonderful, soft way, tells ghost stories around the world through YouTube. And I'm just like, wow, I don't really necessarily have to go in and investigate in order to do that. Some I can just talk about. And so I already have one a bit like that I did have an experience in. And in the past in Gettysburg. But I'm going to be doing more of that. Talking about energy in that kind of way, because it's just so, well, I just love it. It's just so interesting how energy shows itself. And so with that said, let's get on to the topic today. And the topic today is, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. And you're going to hear me with a pen because I changed the title right before I got on, but I didn't change it on my pad. Now I want to explain that statement, be careful what you wish for, because I don't know about you, but actually you probably took it the way I did. I took it like a negative. Be careful what you wish for, you'll get it, and it wasn't a positive. But actually it's overall is a positive. But yes, sometimes what we wish for and we get can have negative connotations to it. So I want to explain all that with you today. Now, here's why I was inspired by that. Because, again, if you're new today, you haven't heard me speak of this before. But if you have been listening, you know that I love the teachings of Neville Goddard, who was a 20th century teacher. He is now passed. And he is a very religious writer, meaning that he talks a lot about scripture and Jesus and such in his writings. And he's also early 20th century, which means that I don't know about you, but even the great writer Florence Scovel Shinn, who wrote The Game of Life, they tend to talk in their dialogue, in their vocabulary, in a way that we no longer do. You almost have to study it and get the translation of it, even though they're just talking regular English. But it can make your head scramble because it's just the way of dialogue that they have. And so, and unless you read their material, you don't know what I'm talking about. But please do read their material because they're great teachers of the early part of the 20th century. They left us with their wonderful legacy of teachings. And then Wayne Dyer came along, and a great teacher of mine, Mike Dooley, and they basically, with their more modern talk, say the same thing as the previous teachers. And so it's just that they changed it to the way that we speak today, maybe in a less formal way. So I wake up in the morning and I read from, right now it's a current little book, the Book of Awareness. I read perhaps a few pages, sometimes a chapter, and it's kind of like my little pocket manifestation Bible a bit. I'm going to restart it at some point when I'm finished and just read it every day. Just keep going over it and over and over it. Much like Bob Proctor, who is now also passed, but another great, more modern teacher. And he taught from his learnings of Napoleon Hill. And so what Bob would do is that he would carry around a pocket version of Think and Grow Rich. And he would read it every day, over and over, and it would get worn down. I think he even had like a leather covering to it, but it was his go-to. He didn't leave home without it, so to speak. So the great teachers are great students, as I always like to say. And so I read this book, and I also will watch YouTube inspirational videos about him. And I recently joined, I want to say, pages that are just about learning about Neville Goddard. Now, how did I get inspired? Well, one of these sites, maybe both actually this week, new students are coming on to the Neville Goddard social media pages. And what are they posting? They're posting, how do I get this? How do I get them? And if you don't know anything about Neville Goddard, you won't understand this. But if you do, you know that Neville will always say, you have to, and Mike Dooley as well, Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, all the great teachers will tell you, you go to the end. You go to the outcome. You feel it's already yours. You feel it's already done. You don't see yourself, by the way, winning the lottery. You see yourself, I've already won the lottery, and this is how it feels. Or financial freedom. Or I'm not getting the love, I'm not meeting them. I've already have. Or I'm already in that relationship, if you have one right now that you'd like to improve. This is how it already feels. This is how it already looks. And you hold it and you hold it and you hold it throughout your day as much as you possibly can, because, life can give us little ways to throw us off. We can get distracted, yes. But then when you realize you get right back into it again and hold it as much as you can. Now, Abraham Hicks, which is Esther Hicks channeling the group of Abraham, would say to you that you only have to hold it for like 69 seconds. It's not even an all day. However, I agree with the other great teachers that it really should be an all through the day, every day, because that just brings about your manifestation more instant, right? And it's you can't fake it. It's like what you feel inside, what your thoughts are, and what your words are to yourself more. That has to be of the element of it's done. It's done. So these people that have come on, well, they've been met with great patience. But I haven't said a word. Just read the book. Get to know him. You're here. It's like they didn't know a thing about him. And they came on and said, okay, tell me how to do it. Tell me what I need to do right now. I don't want to have to read. I don't want to have to study. I don't want to have to live it. What's the quickness? And just, especially when it comes to, I want to get this person back, and that's, do you want that person back? So this is it's almost like genie in the bottle stuff, and there's just a whole deeper layer to the onion going on there, I want to say. Okay, so why did that inspire me to say be careful what you wish for? Because when we put it out there with our inner selves, and you have to feel that outcome on your inner self, any teacher would say to you, and Bob Proctor went even further with this, of included in how you ask, how you will serve with it, how will you do a higher good with it. You want to do it. You want it to be there. You want to have it for the higher good of yourself and the all. You just don't want to get stuff. You just don't want to get people because it doesn't serve you for your higher joy, for your higher happiness. And so let's say, for instance, that you did manage to manifest that person back. They left you and here they are, they're back. Well, they're going to come back with everything that they had before they left. And now you're in cycles. Or maybe they're even more so, which you don't want. It just causes pain. So you want to make sure that you're not asking for what inevitably will cause you pain. The universe doesn't judge you, by the way, on what you deserve. It feels everybody deserves whatever they feel inside, whatever they would ask for. So it's not about, that's a good person, so they deserved it. Sometimes the person who is not the greatest person has the win. Because they're open to it, because they feel it, because they have put out the energy to receive it. However, if you're not a good person and you keep winning, quote, eventually who you are is going to come back. There are always consequences for actions. There's always consequences for how you feel. So here's it more simply. There are people in this world that, and I want to put this carefully, they really think they could trick the universe. And they can also trick their fellow passengers on this earth by pretending there's something they're not. You can't pretend with the universe. There's this character on a soap opera that he is a bad guy, but he'll donate to hospitals and he'll donate to other charities because he wants to pretend he's a good guy. But the universe knows if you're a good guy or a bad guy, or you're a bad guy trying to be a good guy, and vice versa. And it brings back to you who you are. It brings back to you who you are. So no one on this earth gets away with anything. To another example, be careful what you wish for. Let's say you asked for a large sum of money. Now, don't fear this, because most people, if not all of you who listen to me, are good spiritual people who probably could ask for more than you do. Okay, so this may not apply to you, But keep this in the knowing, because we all travel with other passengers on this earth, all right? If you ask for a large sum of money and you get it, if you don't do some good with it, some generosity, not all, you're allowed to buy yourself the home, and you're allowed to clothe, and you're allowed to go on a wonderful vacation. Again, you're allowed to live free and good and happy and joyful. But if you get it and you do harm with it in some way, or you don't do good with it in some way, it's going to come back on you. Or maybe you thought it would fix your problems, and you find that you have, according to the song, 99 problems now. So you have to make sure about what you feel inside, because what you think may fix it may bring more than you thought it would. So when you ask, let's say it is about financial freedom, make sure you're in that outcome where you're free, you're clear, you're light, you see yourself living a wonderful life, and you see yourself helping people. Would you set up a foundation? Would you just donate to charities anonymously? What would you do? That takes care of it. You have nothing to fear with it. But if you want to just use it to spend it on the $200,000 car and, the overpriced night somewhere and all these things where it's like mine, and I'm going to do this, you might just see it runs out on you, or someone takes it away. So what I mean is, be careful what you wish for means that you come with all the consequences of it. And just make sure that your emotions, your mental self, your spiritual self, all of you is of the higher good of all, as well as yourself. And then you don't have to worry about a thing. Actually, you shouldn't worry at all. But you won't have any concern. I hope I didn't lose you there with my multiple examples. So it also applies when you see things happening. Okay? Someone may say, you may know someone that says, I'm going to take that. Takers always get things taken away. Let me repeat that. Takers always get things taken away. They will always be taken from. And even if you're faking being a giver, when you're really a taker, you'll lose. Because that's what you get. Who you are is what you get. What you think will fix it may not be the way that it is. Or what you feel, let's put it to you this way as well. If you're jealous, you're manifesting from a place of jealousy, even if it looks like you get what you were jealous of, you will pay a high price. A higher price in some way. Now, envy is different. But not envy, again, not the strong envy that means it's really jealousy. But let's use a simple example, that you look across the street and the neighbor has a new car and you really like that car, but you're not coveting the car from the neighbor. You're not jealous. You're not wondering. You're not bashing them, wondering how they paid for it and questioning and just going on this inner unhealthy stuff about that car in the driveway. You just note it. I like that car. I wouldn't mind that for myself. I'd get it in this color. I did that once. It was a long time ago now. Oh my gosh, it was probably 25 years ago now. I was walking with my son. around the neighborhood I live in, and this car was parked in front of a house, and I stopped, and I went, oh. And I said to my son, what do you think of that car? And he said, I love that car. I like it. And I went, me too. I put up a rocket flare at that moment from the fire of my belly to get that car. And it was actually, I liked the color and everything. It was the exact car. But I didn't want it from the person. I didn't want it from the person. I didn't feel that. I wasn't jealous of the person that had it. I just ordered it up. I went, oh, I want that. And in a short while, I got that car. And I had it for quite a long time. And I loved that car while I had it. And so that's what I mean. It's like you say, oh, I wouldn't mind that. That's fine. That's fine. Do it. But when you come from a place of, I want revenge, I am jealous, I want to be that person. No, you're supposed to be you. You're not supposed to be somebody else. You're not supposed to live somebody else's life. You're not supposed to want what they have in such a way that you take it from them. Oh my gosh. If any of you have ever been in that space, well, if it's been recent, you will see. But again, most of my people don't. They're not like that. They're good people. And by the way, it doesn't mean that the person who's like that is an evil, awful person. You just get what you put out. If you put out that type of energy, it comes back around. It evens. Everything is always about justice. You'll get it. So that's why be careful what you wish for is important. But it's also positive. What you put out, you get back. So if you put out, oh, I like that. I want that for me. The universe is already conspiring before you got the full thought out to bring it to you. Because the universe is just energy. God is just energy. God doesn't say, well, I don't know, Lise. You were kind of mean the other day, or you're in some other way a sinner, so I'm not going to, I don't know that you deserve that. No, that energy does not judge. That energy is unconditional. That energy just responds to you. Put it out, get it back. Now, if you block it, you don't get it, which people do. So the people, matter of fact, someone did say something. These posts are a lot about lack. When you put out lack, you get lack. That day when I saw that beautiful car, I didn't put out lack. I put out, oh, I'm going to have that. I like that. That's not lack. I had no doubt I could have it. When you say I can't afford it, you can't do that because we can't afford it. You're making it a reality into the future. You're saying that's what I want, to not be able to afford it. When you are jealous of another's relationship with someone, and you know what? My personal experience is that people are often jealous, and they don't even know. They're jealous of what they perceive from the outside. They just have, well, you've got this, and they don't, without even knowing any details, whether they're wonderful or not wonderful or what, they're just jealous, because perceptions from the outside. So when you have that part, when you have that lower energy part, you're going to get lower energy back. So just note it. If you see a relationship in life, or if you see a couple that you feel has a good relationship, you note it. I think they might have a good relationship. I want that too. But you don't say, I think I'm going to take that husband So I have that kind of relationship. Because eventually, what you take is going to be taken from you in some way. It doesn't have to be even direct. It can be just something is taken from you in some way. So always higher consciousness, high road. This week the high road's working for me. Well, I mean, I do the high road, but this week I saw results. High road. Because I take high road, it benefits me of the simplest things. I manifested weather change. I've done that before, by the way. Made a request. Years ago, when I was picking up my son from the YMCA, it was raining cats and dogs. So I sat in my car, and I had no umbrella, no raincoat. I sat in my car, and I just requested and felt and saw the rain die down. And the next second, the rain died down. And I was able to go and get my son without getting wet. And then as soon as I got my son in the car, when I no longer needed it to be better, the rain started again in a heavier way. So this week it was that. I was told I'd be hours at an appointment. I nodded and went, all right, very calmly. I didn't want to be there hours. And it was going to mess with my plans of the day. So I sat down and I started to, I just said simply no inside myself when I sat down in the waiting area. I'm going to be out of here by this time. And then I'm going to do this and that. It's going to be a wonderful day. And I would say within 5 minutes, the situation was over and I was out of there. And so I can do that because you have to say no calmly. It has to be almost like a little bit of a detachment. Now this is what's going to occur right here within me. I've done that with restaurants. Someone wants to go to a restaurant. Instead of saying, no, I don't want to go to that restaurant, inside myself, I choose another one. And then all of a sudden they say, I think I want to go to that one instead. And then I smile and go, that's okay with me. Now that is not playing with somebody else because their will is open. Definitely isn't playing with weather. Someone made fun of a group that was praying for weather to be good around a hurricane or to change. And they were like, oh yeah, sure. Yes, you can. You can. You have that power because it's energy. It's energy. And so, as you go about your life, note what you want. Note what you see, you feel another has that you desire. But remember, be the high road. Be higher consciousness. And also fasten the seatbelt and go along for the ride. Because sometimes it'll look like you've lost when you're on the biggest win. And that's usually what's happening, upgrades. And also know that if something happens, you've asked for an upgrade in some way. Because sometimes things happen and we didn't think we want it. But it wouldn't be happening if you didn't want it. Or if you didn't attract it. There's a difference. Did you attract it out of fear? Did you attract it out of other lower vibration? Or is it possible you asked for it? That's all that's going on. Everything happens. There's nothing chancy. Everything's happening. You're playing the game. You're at the steering wheel. So, know that. Know your power. And don't walk. You know what heaven would say to you all right now? It would say, stop fearing. Stop living in fear. Be fearless. It's our number one block. So as you go through your life today and moving forward, do not allow yourself to fear. And it doesn't mean you don't live cautiously. It doesn't mean you don't put on the parachute before you jump out of the plane. It means don't let yourself be blocked. Don't stop. Don't stall because of those what ifs. Go for it. Live your life. And then feel it done, what you want to accomplish, with the intention of doing good for others with it too. And if you do that, you cannot help but win. But do know this. Know when you're faking. You don't have to buy. You can't, just like the Beatles song, you can't buy me love and you can't buy the universe. Just like the character in the soap opera, you can donate to hospitals all day, but the universe still knows that you're a violent gangster. And you will get back to you that part. Appreciate you. Keep it high. Be excited about the power to help and to serve with your joy of being free, of being whole, of being light, and watch wonders happen. And what you want is already within you, just by your feeling of knowing you have it, that it's already yours. It's right there, and then it shows up in the physical. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you all so much. And again, if you are listening to this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. If you are, and also, again, go to my website, lisahaupt.com, and check me out on Facebook and on Instagram. Also want to let you all know that I've just started offering a new service. I haven't announced it yet, except to you. You're the first. I am now having an emotional freedom technique session. It's 30 minutes. It's tapping. It's tapping on the acupuncture places of your body in order to dispel, release, unblock your fears, your phobias, your blocks. And I'm going to be doing a video soon of that, and I'll announce it more on Facebook. You'll probably see it on Facebook in the future with a little bit of a demonstration, short demonstration video. But I have not recorded that yet, and I know why. But that is there. You can order up that now if you're interested in having me work with you on that. But that is also something that you can do for yourself, but sometimes people like to have the guidance of it. So that's what I'm here for, is to assist you along your journey of life. Thank you again. Many blessings. And if, like me, you are one that likes to watch the Oscars, I am having company to watch that. I hope you have an enjoyable evening. Know this, that those that are not feeling the best for others when they are up for an Oscar, that wouldn't applaud others, can never win. And those that are happy for others will have multiple blessings. That's why Taylor Swift wins so much, by the way, because she genuinely loves when another person wins. She gets excited. She's not phony, by the way, at all. I like her. Not that it matters that if I like her. Not that it would. I guess it would matter to her if I did. But the more you applaud for others, the more the universe applauds for you. Okay? So, I don't know if you'll note that, but if anyone has a phony face after someone else has won, that's probably why they didn't win. Plus all of that, it is true that it's enough just to be nominated. You've already won. It's already in your bio. It already gets you jobs. So, that's true, because as I said, that's about vibration too, and people, and just a whole lot of onion there too. But I like to watch it for any humor and to see what everyone's wearing, and an excuse to eat more snacky food than I would normally eat. So thank you again for joining me. All the best. Until next time.